A Better Answer by Matthew Prior. Dear Chloe, how blubbered is that pretty face, thy cheek all on fire, and thy hair all uncurled. Pure quit with caprice, and as old Falstaff says, let us e'en talk a little like folks of this world. How canst thou presume, thou hast leave to destroy the beauties which Venus but lent to thy keeping? Those looks were designed to inspire love and joy, more ordinary eyes may serve people for weeping. To be vexed as a trifle or two that I rid your judgment at once and my passion you wrong. You take that for fact, which will scarce be found wit. Odds life, must one swear to the truth of a song? What I speak, my fair Chloe, and what I write, shews the difference there's betwixt nature and art. I court others in verse, but I love thee in prose, and they have my whimsies, but thou hast my heart. The God of us verse man, you now chide the sun, how after his journey he sets up his rest. If a morning o'er earth, 'tis his fancy to run, at night he reclines on his theist's breast. So when I am weary with wandering all day, to thee my delight in the evening I come. No matter what beauties I saw in my way, they were but my visits, but woe art my home. When finished, dear Chloe, this pastoral war, let us like Horace and Lydia agree, for thou art a girl as much brighter than her, as he was a poet sublimer than me. A Lover's Anger by Matthew Prior. As Chloe came into the room the other day, I peevish began. Where so long could you stay? In your lifetime you never regarded your hour. You promised it too, and, pray look, child, 'tis for. A lady's watch needs neither figures nor wheels. 'Tis enough that 'tis loaded with baubles and seals, and temper so heedless no mortal can bear. Thus far I went on with a resolute air. Lord bless me, said she, let a body but speak. Here's an ugly hard rosebud fallen into my neck. It had hurt me, and vexed me to such a degree, see here, for you never believe me. Pray see, on the left side of my breast, what a mark it has made. So saying, her bosom she careless displayed. That seed of delight I with wonder surveyed, and forgot every word I designed to have said. A Reasonable Affliction by Matthew Prior. On his deathbed poor Lubin lies, his spouse is in despair. With frequent cries and mutual sighs, they both express their care. A different cause, says Parson Sly, the same effect may give. Poor Lubin fears that he may die, his wife that he may live. A Sailor's Wife by Matthew Prior. Quoth Richard in jest, looking wistfully at Nelly, methinks, child, you seem something round in the belly. Nell answered him snappishly, how can that be, when my husband has been more than 2 years at sea? My husband, quoth, why that matter was carried most secretly, Nell, I never thought the word married. A Simile by Matthew Prior. Dear Thomas, didst thou never pop a head into a tine man's shop? Where, Thomas, didst thou never see, 'tis but way of smile, a squirrel spent his little rage in jumping round a rolling cage, the cage as either side turned up, striking a ring of bells atop, moved in the awe perplashed with a chintz, the foolish creature thinks he clips, but here or where, turn wood or wire, he never gets 2 inches high. So fares it with those merry blades, that frisk under pine shades, and noble songs and lovely odes, they street on stars and talk of gods, still dancing in an airy round, still plashed with their own verse sound, brought back, how fast so they go, always aspiring, always low. A True Maid by Matthew Prior. No, no, for my virginity, when I lose it, says Rose, I'll die. Behind the elms last night, cried Rose, were you not extremely sick? For My Own Monument by Matthew Prior. As doctors give physic by way of prevention, Matt, alive and in health, of his tombstone take care, for delays are unsafe, and his piteous intention may haply be never fulfilled by his her. Then take Matt's word for it, the sculptor is paid. But the figure is fine, pray believe your own eye. Yet credit but lightly what more may be said, for we flatter ourselves and teach marble to lie. Yet counting as far as to 50 years, his virtues and vices were as others men's are. High hopes he convinced, and he smothered great fears in a life party-colored, half pleasure, half care. Not a business, a drudge, not affection, a slave. He strove to make interest and freedom agree, in public employments industrious and grave. And alone with his friends, Lord, how merry was he! Now equine and stately, now humble on foot, both fortunes he tried, but to neither would trust. And wild and ruined as the wheel turned about, he found riches had wings, and knew man was but dust. With words little polished foot mighty sincere, sets neither his titles nor merit to view. It says that his relicts collected lie here, and no mortal yet knows if this may be true. Fierce robbers were armed, infants were highway, some mad may be killed and his bones never found. False witness at court and fierce tempest at sea, some mad may yet change to be hanged or be drowned. If his bones lie in earth, roll in sea, fly in air, to fate we must yield, and the thing is the same. And if passing who gives them a smile or a tear, he cares not, yet perf, be kind to his fame. For My Own Tombstone, by Matthew Prior. To me 'twas given to die, to we 'tis given to live. Alas, one moment sets us even. Mark, how impartial is the will of heaven. Her right name, by Matthew Prior. As Nancy at the toilet sat, admiring this and blaming wit, tell me, she said, but tell me true, the nymph you could your heart subdue. What sort of charms does she possess? Absolve me, fair one, I'll confess. With pleasure, I replied. Her hair in ringles rather dark than fair does down her ivory bosom roll, and hitting half adorns the whole. In her high forehead's fair half round, love sits, an open triumph crowned. He in the dimple of her chin, in private state, by friends is seen. Her eyes are neither black nor grey, nor fierce nor feeble in their ray. The dubious lustre seems to show something that speaks nor yes nor no. Her lips no living bard, I read, may say how red, how round, how sweet. Old Homer only could indite their radiant grace and soft delight. They stand recorded in his book, when Helen smiled and he bespoke. The gypsy, turning to her glass, too plainly showed she knew the face. And which am I most like, she said, your Chloe or your nut-brown maid? Love Disarmed, by Matthew Prior. Beneath a myrtle's verdant shade, as Chloe half asleep was laid, Cupid perched light on her breast, and amid heaven desired to rest. Over Peps his wings he spread, between he found a downy bed, and nestled in his little head. Still lay the god, the nymph surprised, yet mistress of herself devised. For she the regent might entrail, and captive him, who captives all. Her body's halfway she unlegged, about his arms she silly cast the silken bound, and held him fast. The god awake, and thrice in vain he strove to break the cruel chain, and thrice in vain he shook his wing, and cumbered in the silken string. Fluttering the god and weeping sate, pity poor Cupid, generous maid, who happened being blind to stray, and on the bosom lost his way. Who strayed, alas, but knew too well he never there must hope to dwell. Set an unhappy prisoner free, who never intended harm to thee. To me pertains not, she replies, to know or care where Cupid flies, what are his haunts, or which his way, where he would dwell, or whither stray. Yet will I never set thee free, for harm was meant and harm to me. Vain fears that vex the virgin heart, I'll give thee up my bow and dart, untangled this cruel chain, and freely let me fly again. Agreed, secured my virgin heart, instant give up the blow and dart. The chain I'll in return unto, and freely woe against shall fly. Was she the captive did deliver, the captive us gave up his quiver. The god disarmed ever since that day, passed his life in harmless play, flies around or sits upon the breast, a little fluttering, idle guest. Ever since the day the beauteous maid governs the world in Cupid's stead, directs his error as she wills, gives grief or pleasure, spares or kills. The Honest Shepherd, by Matthew Prior. When hungry wolves had trespassed on the fold, and a robbed shepherd his sad story told, Colin Alcides, said a crafty priest, give him one half and he'll secure the rest. No, said the shepherd, if the fates decree, by ravaging my flock to ruin me, to their commands I willingly resign. Power is their character and patience mine. Though trod to me there seems but little odds, who prove for grapes robbers, wolves or gods. The Judgement of Venus, by Matthew Prior. When Ella's works various grace, where to fair Venus shone, the goddess spied in every face some features of her own. Just so, in pointing with her hand, so shone, say she, my eyes, and from two goddesses I gained an apple for a price. And in the glass and river too, my face I lately viewed, such was I, if a glass be true, if true the crystal flood. And colours of its glorious kind, appeals painted me. My hair was flowing with the wind, sprung from my native sea. Like this disordered, wild forlorn, big with 10,000 fears, thee, my Adonis, the morn, in beautiful in tears. But viewing mirror placed apart, I fear, says she, I fear, appeals with so Godfrey's art, as far surpassed mine here. Or I, a goddess of the skies, by Mary am undone, and must resign to her the prize, the apple which I won. But soon as she had more seen, majestically fair, the sparkling eye, the look serene, the gay and easy air. The fiery emulation failed, the wandering goddess cried, appeals must to Nila yield, or Venus must to hide. The Question to Lisetta by Matthew Prior. What nymph should I admire or trust, but Chloe beauteous, Chloe just? What nymph should I desire to see, but her who leaves the plain for me? To whom should I compose the lay, but her who listens when I play? To whom in song repeat my cares, but her who in my sorrow shares? For whom should I the garland make, but her who joys the gift to take, and boast she wears it for my sake? In love of I not fully blessed, Lisetta, Periphy, tell the rest. Lisetta's reply. Sure Chloe just and Chloe fair deserves to be your only care. But when you and she today far into a wood did stray, and I happened to pass by, which way did you cast your eye? But when your cares to her you sing, you dare not tell her whence they spring. Does it not more afflict your heart, that in those cares she bears a part? And you, the flower for Chloe twine, why do you to a garland join, the meanest bud with thorns for mine? Simplest of swains, the world may see whom Chloe loves and who loves me. The Secretary by Matthew Prior. While with labour assiduous due pleasure I mix, and in one day atone for the business of 6, in a little Dutch chase on a Saturday night, on my left hand with horrors of we on my right, no memories to compose, and no postboy to move. But on Sunday may hinder the softness of love, for her neither visits nor parties at tea, nor the long-winded cant of a dull refugee. This night and the next shall be here, shall be mine, to good or ill fortune the third we resign. Thus scorning the world and superior to fate, I drive on my car in processional state. So Phobia through Athens Pisistratus showed, man fought her Minerva, and him a new god. But why should I stories of Athens rehearse, where people knew love and were partial to verse, since none can with justice my pleasure oppose, and Holland half drowned in interest and prose? Like Greece and past ages what need I be tried, when the heart and the present are both on my side? And is it enough for the joys of a day to think what Anacreon or Sappho would say? When good Winter goes and is provident through, as they gaze on my triumph they freely allow, with search of a province, you'll find no man there is so blessed as the English here secretary is. To a Lady by Matthew Prior. Spare, generous Victor, spare the slave, who did unequal war pursue, but more than triumph we might have in being overcome by you. In the dispute whatever I said, my heart was by my tongue belied, and in my looks you might have read how much I argued on your side. You, far from danger as from fear, might have sustained an open fight, for seldom your opinions err, your eyes are always in the right. Why, fair one, would you not rely on reason's force of beauties joined? Could I their prevalence deny, I must at once be deaf and blind. Alas, not hoping to subdue, I only to the fight aspired, to keep the beauteous foe in view, as all the glory I desired. But she, however, of victory sure, condemns a wrath too long delayed, and armed with more immediate power, calls crucial silence to her aid. Deeper to wound, she shuns the fight, she drops her arms to gain the field, secures her conquest by the flight, and triumphs when she seems to yield. So when the Parthian turns his steed, and from the hostile camp withdrew, with cruel skill the backward rid, he sent, and as he fled, he slew. To a Young Gentleman in Love by Matthew Prior. From public noise and factious strife, from all the busy ills of life, take me, my Cilia, to thy breast, and lull my very soul to rest. For ever in this humble cell, let we and I, my fair one, dwell. None enter else but love and he shall bar the door and keep the key. To painted roofs and shining spires, uneasy sets of high desires, let the unthinking many crowd, that dare be covetous and proud. In golden bondage let them wait, and barter happiness for state. But oh, my Cilia, when they swain, desires to see a court again, may heaven around this destined head the choicest of its curses shed. To sum up all rage of fate, in the two things I dread and hate, mayst thou be false and I be great. Thus on his Cilia's panting breast found Kelden his soul expressed, while with delight the lovely maid received the rose she was repaid, hope of my age, joy of my youth, blessed miracle of love and truth. All that could be counted mine, my love and life long since are wine. A real joy I never knew, till I believed thy passion true. A real grief I never can find, till thou provest preterite or unkind. Contempt and poverty and care, all we abhor and all we fear, blessed with the presence I can bear. Through waters and through flames I'll go, sufferer and solace of thy woe. Trace me some yet unheard of way, that I by ardour may repay, and make my constant passion known, by more than woman yet has done. Had I a wish that did not be of stamp and image of my dear, I'd pierce my heart through every vein, and die to let it out again. No, Venus should my witness be, if Venus ever loved like me, that for 1 hour I would not quit my shepherd's arms and this retreat, to be the Persian monarch's bride, partnered of all his power and pride, or rule in a regal state above, mother of gods and wife of Jove. O happy wreath of human race, but soon alas our pleasures pass. They fingered her on his bended knee, and drank a quart of milk and tea, and leaving her adored embrace, hasted to court to beg a place. While she his absence to bemoan, the very moment he was gone, called Ferris from benefit bed, where all this time he had been hid. More, while men have these ambitious fancies, and wanton wretches read romances, our sex will what out with it lie, and where's an equal strain's reply? The moral of a tale I sing, a posy for a wedding ring, and this short verse will be confined, love is a jest, and woes are wind. To Fortune, by Matthew Prior. Whilst I in prison or in court look down, nor beg thy favour, nor deserve thy frown, in vain malicious Fortune has what tried, by taking for my state to quell my pride. Insulting girl, thy present rake a day, and wouldst thou have me humbled, make me great. Truth and Falsehood, by Matthew Prior. Once a time, in sunshine weather, Falsehood and Truth walked out together, the neighbouring woods and lawns to view, as opposites will sometimes do. Through many a blooming mead they passed, and at a brook arrived at last. The purling stream, the margin green, the flowers bedecked a vernal scene, invited each itinerant maid to rest a while beneath a shade. Under a spreading beech they sat, and passed the time with female chat, while each her thoughts the other feigned. At length quoth Falsehood, sister Truth, for so she called her from her youth, what if, to shun your sultry beam, we bathe in this delightful stream, the bottom smooth, the water clear, and where's no prying shepherd near? Withon my heart the nymph replied, and threw her snowy robes aside, stripped herself naked to the skin, and with a spring leaped headlong in. Falsehood more leisurely undressed, and laying by a tawny west, tricked herself out in Truth's array, and crossed the meadows tripped away. From this cursed hour the thoughtful dame of sacred Truth usurps the name, and with a vile perfidious mind roams far and near to cheat mankind. False sighs subburns and artful tears, and starts the vain pretended fears, and visits vain still appears most wise, and rules at church her saint-like eyes, talks very much, plays idle tricks, while rising stock her conscience pricks. When being poor thing extremely gravelled, she secrets opened and all unravelled. But on she will and secrets tell of John and Rowan and Ned and Nell, revealing every one she knows, as fancy leads beneath the rose. At times so voluble and kind, it always runs before her mind. As times do serve, she slily pleads, and copious tears still show her needs. With promises as thick as weeds, speaks pro and con as wondrous civil, today a saint, tomorrow devil. Poor Truth she stripped, as has been said, and naked left the lovely maid, who scorning from a cause to wince, has gone stark naked ever since, and ever naked will appear, beloved by all who Truth revere. 2 Riddles, by Matthew Prior. Sphinx was a monster which would eat whatever stranger she could get, unless his ready wit disclosed the subtle riddle she proposed. Oedipus was resolved to go, and try what strength of parts would do. Say, Sphinx, on this depends your fate. Tell me what animal is wet, which has 4 feet at morning bright, has 2 at noon and 3 at night. 'Tis man, said he, who, weak by nature, at first creeps, like his fellow creature, upon all 4. As years secure, with sturdy steps he walks on 2, in age of length grows weak and sick, for his 3rd leg adopts the stick. Now in your turn, 'tis just, methinks, you should resolve me, Madam Sphinx, what greater stranger yet is he, who has 4 legs, when 2, when 3, when loses one, when gets 2 more, and runs away at last on 4? Upon Honour, by Matthew Prior. Honour, I say, by honest fame, I mean the substance, not the name, not that light heap of tawny wares, ermine, coronets, and stars, which often is by merit sought, by golden flattered oftener bought, the shade for which ambition looks in Selden's or in Ashmole's books, but the true glory which proceeds, reflected bright from honest deeds, which we in our own breast perceive, and kings can neither take nor give. Venus Mistaken, by Matthew Prior. When close picture was to Venus shown, surprised the goddess took it for her own. And what, said she, does this bold painter mean? When was I bathing thus and naked seen? plashed Cupid hard and checked his mother's pride. And who's blind now, mamma? The urchin cried. 'Tis Chloe's eye, and cheek, and lip, and breast. Friend Howard's genius fancied all the rest. Wives by the dozen, by Matthew Prior. O death, how thou spoil'st the best project of life, said Gabriel, who still as he buried one wife. For the sake of a family married a cousin, and thus in an honest collateral line, he still married until his number was 9, full sorry to die till he made up his dozen.